What's up, guys? So Konami have released a new Showtime skill, Acceleration Burst, and it is in a pack with Neymar, Yamal, and Kubo. So that's actually three players that I really do think are very good in eFootball. They usually have good player ID, and you can argue perform above their stats, particularly Yamal. I still use the main version of Yamal that we got during the Euros, and he's really, really good. And even if you don't have this version, it's basically the same as the GP version. So if you've never used Yamal in this game, definitely give the GP Yamal a shot because he is actually really, really good. But today I want to look at these players and let you know if I think they're worth them, do a training guide, recommend the best builds, and then discuss the acceleration boost, or sorry, acceleration burst, phenomenal skill, and see if that's also worth it. So we'll start off with the best player in the pack. We'll start off with Neymar. We got a Neymar card recently in the MSN pack, and it was also a prolific winger, so it is interesting to see they're basically releasing the same card again. But that one didn't have a Showtime skill, and this one does, so I guess that's their justification to release Neymar so soon afterwards. And this MSN Neymar is amazing. I did a review of all three of the MSN cards, Messi, Suarez, and Neymar, and Neymar was arguably the best. So I think it's safe to say that this new Neymar is also going to be very good. We just need to see if it's going to be better than the old Neymar. So this is the build I went for. You can see if we take off the boosts, we have got the 85 kicking power, and usually I aim for 85s on stats. Interesting enough, we don't have 85 finishing, but when you put the boosts on, you can see that the natural born boost that he has gives a +4, so he will go to 90 finishing, and 90 finishing is what we're aiming for. Now, you can adjust the build. You could take off a little bit of dexterity maybe to get that 92 finish, and then you'll have a point left over. You can put it into aerial strength. It doesn't really matter. For your second booster though, just make sure you're not putting it on something to boost the kicking power, because if we were to go for shooting, for example, and then look, he has +1 on the stat, if we were to take off that point to kind of compensate for that booster to reinvest elsewhere, you'll actually lose the +3 boost from the 85. So if I were to put a booster on it, it would probably be agility +1. Then you can take off those points that you had in dexterity and put it into shooting to get 93 finishing or passing or whatever. You can redistribute those points elsewhere and improve them like so. So next we're going to look at the skills. I'll see what skills I recommend, and then we'll look at acceleration burst and is the Showtime skill actually worth it. So for the skills I recommend, now acrobatic finishing is usually a skill I recommend on most attacking players, but I've changed my tune a little bit recently. So for Neymar, I actually don't think you need it, because I actually have the MSN Neymar, of course, with 95 balance, and same with Messi. Messi probably has 95 to 98 balance, I don't know the exact number, and I don't have acrobatic finishing on either of them yet, and they still perform really good without it, and I think it's because their balance is extremely high. So I think if your balance is 95 or above, acrobatic finishing isn't really a necessity, and this Neymar, on this build anyway, has 97 balance. So you could still put acrobatic finishing on just to be safe, but I don't think it is as necessary as someone with like 85 balance. So for the skills I do think would be good on them though are fighting spirit, Marseille turn, long range shooting. Outside curler is up to you. I usually don't find that a player with very high weak foot needs outside curler, but I know a lot of people like the skill obviously. And then you could go for weighted pass or pinpoint crossing. I wouldn't really think as a prolific winger on the left wing you would need weighted pass as much. He's just not going to be activated as much. Prolific winger might be more useful in those situations, but I know a lot of people want to play him second striker or AMF or even centre forward. Weighted pass would be more beneficial in the middle, like there. So Barry over at eFootball Universe is actually live streaming now, and he has the new Neymar, so we'll see what he was saying about the acceleration burst.
Oh yeah, here. See? You see that there? Forget about that trick there, man. But this animation here, man, is definitely like gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be an issue, I think, once people start using it.
So Barry's demonstrated the skill there, and he thinks it is gonna be pretty effective, especially in the right hands. I'd actually kind of disagree. I'm looking at it, and I don't think it looks that amazing. Now, obviously, he has it, so he's got a better idea of what's happening. He can feel it. I can't really. I'm just watching it. But even if he just looks at the sharp touches with Gareth Bale here, they still look pretty good to me.
There. You can still do the speed boost, man.
Like, obviously, Gareth Bale's just knocking it on, and Gareth Bale would be a good player for that. But I think the Neymar version, it just knocks the ball a bit too far ahead for me to think that it's going to be very effective, because if we actually go back to the clip, you'll notice what part of the pitch it's actually being performed on, and it is out wide. I feel like in the middle of the pitch, look at how loose the ball goes. You're gonna lose possession. If you do that near the centre back, you're just gonna lose the ball and you won't be able to get a shot off. So I do think this skill is mostly going to be useful out wide, and it seems like a little bit of a gimmick to me. I don't think it's gonna be a skill that 2 weeks from now people are really going to care about. Like when momentum dribbling came out, It was actually very effective at the start, and you could definitely instantly see the speed booster player would get while having it momentum dribbling. But now I don't really think it's a skill people care about that much. So I think this skill is gonna be the same. But regardless, I still think Neymar, like, it's gonna be one of the best players in the game because his MSN version is too. If you have the MSN version though, is it worth the upgrade? If we just look at the stats here, like, they're pretty much the same, and I would say it isn't worth the upgrade. You get a little bit more passing, but he is a prolific winger, so he doesn't really need passing. And anyway, actually, when I was using this Neymar, I thought his passing was really good. So I don't think if you have MSN Neymar, you should be going for this new Neymar. But Yamal looks like a very strong player, and I really, like I said, enjoyed his GP version. So I do think this Yamal is going to be good as well. Here is the boost, or just the build rather. You can see we did get the 85 finishing and curl, and then the balance as well. You will have 2 points left over. So for these 2 points, again, you can't really take it off shooting because you need that 85 before the boost for the +3. So these points can really go into, or rather, the boost can go into something that boosts dribbling stats, because then you can take off 1 point to dribbling, and then you'll have 5 points left. And with these 5 points, you can't really do too much with them, to be honest. You can get the balance up to 93, and that also will get the awareness up to 80. And as a prolific winger, I do think the 80 awareness is important. So probably I'd go for that dexterity a little bit extra, but you could increase the passing up as well. But again, I would go for the dexterity probably. Now for the skills for Yamal, I think the skills you should put on him are acrobatic finishing. I know I said Neymar, you don't need it. I do think though, if you're below 95 balance, you probably still do need the acrobatic finishing. I'd also go for first time shot, fighting spirit, cut behind and turn, and then I would choose between scissors feint and long range shooting. Yamal's got a good player ID, a good build. I think he will be good with scissors feint, and also actually I do think he would be better with this acceleration burst, just because of how physical he is. He's kind of similar to Gareth Bale in a little sense. I mean, Barry actually used Gareth Bale as an example for the sharp touch player, and I'd say if you asked people yesterday who were the best players for sharp touches and knocking the ball on, many people would say Gareth Bale. I think Yamal is similar to that as well. Alright, next player we're going to look at is Kubo, and Kubo is someone that I've said loads of times in this channel, Nami really like. He does play well above his stats, but I usually don't think he is good enough to be an elite tier player. But this new version looks pretty decent to me. Take off all the boosts, 85 finishing, curl, and kick up power. So that's 3, like, really, that's a 3 shooting one, so that's a good start anyway. You'll notice with the build I have here, I do have 5 points left over. So those 5 points can probably either go into passing to get to the 80 lofted pass, or sorry, low pass, and then I don't know, that extra point can go there. Or you could try get the finishing up to 90, but you're gonna have to make use of a booster for that one. So if you want to do that, you'd probably put free kick taken on, give 90 finishing and curl, then you have those 2 points over. They can go into that. He has 100 place kicking, so I don't know if that's actually going to be too much effective. I think most players have like 90, most top tier players have about 95 free kick taken. I notice. Anyway, whenever I'm using, I always have someone around that level, like a Messi or a Zico or someone. So I don't know if 100 is going to be a noticeable upgrade, but it would be interesting to see if anyone has tried this Kubo yet. And inform us in the comments. And then for the skills on Kubo, he does have double touch and soul control, so we will start him off with a flip flap. He also should have first time shot. Then I'd go for fighting spirit or super sub. It's up to you really. I guess super sub would be probably good because you probably should be starting Yamal ahead of him. Although you could play Kubo in AMF, so if you do play him AMF, I would give him weighted pass as well. And then if you're gonna play him out wide, I would give him Marseille turn. Now, if you're going to play him out wide and in the middle, you should probably give him both Marseille turn and weighted pass. If you do know for sure you're going to play him in the middle, go for weighted pass instead of Marseille turn, and then Marseille turn if you're going to play him out wide. So yeah, the 5 skills there are flip flap, first time shot, fighting spirit, or super sub, Marseille turn, and weighted pass. You could go for acrobatic finishing. He does have the 95 balance, but if you don't really care about using him as a super sub, or you know, okay, I'm going to be playing him in AMF, I don't really need the Marseille turn as much, or I'm playing him out wide, I don't need the weighted pass as much. The acrobatic finishing, like I said, it's not necessary, but it will be a little bit of security. So overall, an interesting pack. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think this acceleration burst is a bit of a gimmick, or is it going to actually be one of the most sought after skills? I really don't think it's going to compare to something like Blitzcurler, to be honest. But look, Yamal is very good in this game. I'd say this Yamal and Neymar are 2 of the best wingers. Who would be better? Messi, probably better than Yamal on the right wing. Same with Bale, arguably. And maybe Blitzcurler, Salah if you want to rely on the Blitzcurler. But there wouldn't be many better than Yamal, to be honest. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you.